This is my special video to thank all of you for reaching 50,000 subscribers. As you can tell, I'm really uncomfortable with being in front of a camera, so yeah, that already proves, like, you know, that I'm really thankful, because I know this is a video that a lot of you guys wanted to have for such a long time, and I never did it, and I felt that now the time has come where, you know, I will do it. And yeah, so this video is a question and answer video. We made a post on Facebook saying that everybody can ask their questions and we will sort them out and put the most interesting ones into this video. We tried to answer as much as we possibly could. We, meaning me and Karina, for those who don't know her yet. She will ask the questions and I will answer them. She will answer some as well, because some questions concern her. Yeah. So anyway, one thing that you maybe should know about this video is that we are not near right now, so we had to kind of, you know, record it in two steps. She recorded the questions at her home, like 2,000 kilometers away from here. I record my answers here and then we cut it together. So if you wonder why we have two different locations, that's why. Anyway, I don't want to keep you too long in this intro. I just want to say thank you for sticking with me and with the music and basically everything I do. It is more than I ever imagined to achieve, actually. So thank you for that, sincerely. And yeah, let's start the question and answering.
Well, hello there everyone. As you know, Adrian was kindly forcing me to appear in this video, and I have to ask for your forgiveness already, because I am very shy. I don't like being in front of videos, also not in front of videos who might be seen by thousands of people, even worse for me. So also forgive any English mistakes, because English is not my first language. In fact, I'm Romanian and I live in Portugal for around 6 years, and yeah, so yes, I speak Romanian at home, Portuguese in school, and with Adrian I speak English, a really bad English, but yes. I will just pass with the first question this way. I will ask you faster. If you could work with one other artist, who would it be and why?
I am usually not the kind of person that, you know, that can really work with others well, because I don't know, if I have a creative idea, I kind of only feel comfortable by executing that idea 100% by myself. But there are actually two exceptions, I think, except for Karina, of course, which I work with her all the time. But except from her, there are two people who I would really enjoy trying to work together with them. The first one is Joseph Vargo, the creator of Nox Arcana, because I am a very big fan of him, and he actually became a very good friend of mine, and I think that our personalities match in a lot of ways, and in how we see music and how we express ourselves, so I could really imagine working with him. He's a great guy and I know him, and I think that's for me the most important part about working with somebody, that know that person and you know that your personalities match, so that you know that the other person has the same kind of vision that you have. So yeah, Joseph Vargo. And the other one, some of you might be surprised by that, it's Enya, because I don't know her obviously, but I enjoy her music a lot and I feel a kind of purity in her voice and in her music, and it is something that is rarely found in today's time, and it is something that, yeah, I would really love to be a part of that, and it is actually probably the only voice I would really allow in my music with lyrics, because usually I don't like music with lyrics, but I think Enya would really be an exception for that, so I would love to try that as well.
Where does your inspiration come from?
I can honestly say that like probably the biggest part really comes from Karina, because my inspiration comes from my feelings, and obviously she's the, you know, like the one that creates the strongest feelings in me. So a lot of my inspiration comes from my happiness when I can be with her, and from my sadness when I cannot be with her, and you know, just my feelings. And but of course I make lots of different styles of music, so there are also a lot of songs, for example, like songs like Spring Charm, or you know, the inspiration just comes from nature itself, very simply put, because there is no like magical recipe that I could share with anybody. I don't have like a magical secret inspiration source. It's all there, it's all in this world, and in the world that can never exist, that we all have in our minds. The worlds that we wish we would have, but they are not real, you know. So my inspiration comes from that, and from, well, a big part is really nature. Nature, also sometimes history, for example, or mythology, like for pagan metal songs or Celtic music. But yeah, Karina, nature, history, and my own fantasy worlds that sadly do not exist in this world, so I have to create them in my own mind and live them through music, because that's at the moment the only way how I can live them. Yeah.
How did you and Karina meet?
Yeah, that was actually very funny, because she found my music, listened to my songs really a lot, and I saw her comments, and I realized that because she wrote comments that explained 100% what I wanted to express with the music, and then I realized that she has an account on Divine Art, and I saw her photo manipulations, her paintings, and the pictures that she made had exactly the same emotions that my music had, and it was really weird because we both experienced it the same way, that we saw each other's art, or we listened, and we felt like it is perfect for each other, and that it's really the only perfect art for each other. It was made, like, it was really make a picture for one of my videos, and that's how it started. And like also from the first time I wrote with her, it already was so clear that there is such a deep connection, that we understand exactly what the other is talking about. And when we talked about our music and the pictures and stuff, it was just perfect right from the start. It was always there, like a puzzle that fits together.
If you could go anywhere in the world to compose your music, where would you go and why?
Well, the country, for example, doesn't really matter to me. But I have this image inside my head of a little house, like really away from other people, on the side of a peaceful little lake in a pine forest, and a place where you have fog in autumn and you have snow in winter, and you know, like that. I have that image inside my head. It would be really, really nice. But of course, any place is only good if Karina is there too. So, and the thing about, lake and forest and those things, we have those things actually in Switzerland too, where I live. I have a forest right in front of my house, basically, and pine trees and little lakes and fog and snow and all that. But the problem is there are still like too many humans around. I don't like that. I would really wish for a place where you have to at least drive for like 10 or 15 minutes until you reach the village or something like that. Really, I think that will help a lot to get the inspiration flowing for music. So yeah, I would love that.
Which song of yours do you have the greatest personal or emotional connection to, and why is that so?
I would say Karina's songs, the songs that I wrote for her, for obvious reasons, I guess. And like songs like, if you don't know them, songs like Angel Tears and Glass Princess, Even in Death, Forevermore. Lots of songs. Also songs like Queen of Thorns, and lots of songs. I have the deepest connection to those, personal, emotional connection to those songs, and like one song that was not made for her, which also has a very, very strong meaning for me, is Innocence. Because no, I won't explain that actually. Sorry, I won't explain why. But that one is really, really, really personal.
What are your plans for the future?
I would definitely. Well, okay. The first thing that is absolutely clear for me is that I never want to stop releasing albums. I will always love to just make my own songs and put them together in an album and release them. I don't think that will ever stop, because there doesn't seem to be an end of inspiration, first of all, and secondly, yeah, for me doing that, composing, feels like walking, breathing, or eating. It is essential. So the plan for the future, make more albums. That's for sure. And another thing that I would love to do is to make an actual soundtrack for a movie or a game. More movie than game, but both things would be amazing for me. yeah, I would love that experience, that opportunity. Another thing that I'm planning for the future is I am in the process of writing a book, and obviously I would love to release it someday, so that's another plan. And of course my languages, my little weird hobby, passion thing, creating languages, and I want to release them as well someday. Yeah, those are my plans for the future.
Where did you get your taste in music and where did you learn?
Um, my taste in music, to be honest, or if the question is meant in a way that how did I get my taste in what music I compose, then there isn't really an answer to that, because I honestly don't really know. I am not a person that listens to a lot of music. I love to create music, but I don't necessarily listen to a lot of music, so that is actually very weird. How can you get inspired to make music if you don't really listen to music? So I honestly don't know. The only things that I really love to listen to are movie scores, so that could be an explanation, because movie scores like combine so many different styles of music in them that it also inspired me to create all kinds of music that I can get my hands on. And yeah, especially Hans Zimmer. Hans Zimmer is probably one of the most unpredictable composers that I ever saw, and I love that fact, and I, that's what I try as well. I try to make any style of music that I want, and I love the challenge of it. And yeah, so where did I get my taste in music? Actually more from books and nature, and I don't know, not really from bands. If anything, then from movie scores, from movies and from books and those things. And where did I learn? Right here in this room. I am self-taught. I had 5 guitar lessons in my life, and that's it. I learned A minor and E minor and those typical guitar chords, and that's it. And I learned playing keyboard all by myself, and yeah, everything I do is yeah, there was no real help in that. I just searched a way for myself, and by my own sense of tonal harmony. So what sounds good, what doesn't sound good, so you play it differently until it sounds good. That's how I learned.
When creating your music, do you normally plan out your music pieces in advance for what you want to accomplish, or do you just make it up as long as you go along, or is it a bit of both?
Well, I do have most of the time like a story inside my head, so it's mostly it's the case that I have a plan of what I am doing. Because most of my songs are meant to be stories, so yeah, I first need the story in my head before I can start composing. But there are also some examples where like in the middle of the composition I do something and it sounds cool, and I decide to continue with that, and that's really something surprising, but yeah, that it can happen as well. Yeah, it's mostly the first, but it's also sometimes surprise myself. So